90.3 Voice of the People FM. In case you just new, or in case you are new, perchance to this show, it is where Nigeria's finest conversation takes place. So here, we talk about everything and anything that is hot topical conversation, and we break it down to your level, especially as these conversations affect you. My name is Precious A. This show is produced by Promise, and today I have somebody sitting on a hot seat, perhaps not so hot seat, and the good thing is that he has all the remedy and prescriptions to help himself, because he's in that field where he can do so, even though he doesn't like to be associated with that, right? But let's get on to what the hot topics could be today, and perhaps also marry a few, couple of events that took place last year, right? So let's go straight to it. Plateau killings. Nigerians have right to bear arms in self-defense. Falana replies Nigerian army. And then again, you may want to know, FBI files on Tinubu drops amidst lookout for FDI. We hear that this is the third batch of the files dropping, right? So you do remember that one dropped sometime in November, thereabout, right? Okay, so moving forward, Denmark announces visas for welders, bricklayers, mechanics, teachers, others. Hey, is this another opportunity for jackpot of our citizens? They say one road closed, another one they open, Abi. Okay, so that's just about what may be happening. Ban sports betting apps. Reno Omokri urges Tinubu. I have to ask my guest if he's a victim of that. Former Minister Sadiya Farouk faces EFCC probe today over 37 billion naira fraud under ex-president Muhammadu Buhari. Okay. Chief Imam Okada rider killed in yet another fresh Plateau attacks. Just so you know, those attacks aren't over yet. Okay, so let's move on to other conversations. Nnamdi Kanu will be released soon. Reps Deputy Speaker says so. And yes, that's about it. And there's this long conversation here that I may have to digest before I let you in on it, right? Lagos, these are the hot topics that we have. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, I'll let you in on the guests that I have in the house, and we'll begin dissecting the conversations one at a time. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Listen to hot critical analysis and top trending topics of the day. Join Precious, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on The Evening Rush.
You are welcome back. It is still 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So let's get started with the conversations very quickly. Right. So a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, Femi Falana, has said Nigerians have the right to bear arms in self-defense. So Falana said the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja's stance on Nigerians bearing arms was incorrect. Following the attack on some villages in Plateau State on Christmas Eve, Lagbaja had said Nigerians have no right to bear arms. However, Falana said Nigerians need to obtain a license to bear arms. We could go on and on with that, but let me let you quickly know that I still, continued attack in Plateau communities. As the chief imam of Juma'at Mosque of Ndun village of Tanguru district of Boko's local government area, Boko's, a benefactor of the Christmas Eve attack again in Plateau State, Malam Muhammad Sani Idris, was attacked. Now, the chairman of Ghana Allah Fulani Development Association, Garab Abdullahi, who confirmed the incident to Daily Trust today Wednesday, said a younger brother of the slain Imam, Salisu Muhammad Sani Idris, was injured during the attack and was receiving treatment at Dong Hospital in Boko's town. The chairman said the incident had been reported to the security agencies in Boko's for immediate actions. Now, according to Daily Trust, he said their correspondent that the latest killings of the two headers came barely a week after 23 villages in Boko's local government area were attacked, where more than 195 people were killed. So this looks more like a reprisal attack. Dr. Andy Akpotive is with me in the house. Andy Akpotive is with me in the house. He's an author, and of course, one of the finest authors you meet, by the way. I pride to say that, even though I haven't read most of the books. And of course, as a social reformer. Good evening, Andy, and welcome.
Good evening, Lagos. Good evening.
So my home training will not let me still call you Andy. You cannot just go and acquire certificate and I'll not call you, and I'll not put in that there. Andy, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
So our Falana says Nigerians have the right to bear arms, even though they need to get licensed, for that. I do not know how many Nigerians can afford a license. How many of the Nigerians that are vulnerable and susceptible to these killings can actually afford the licensing for firearms? But he's saying that this should happen, even though there's still continued attacks in Plateau communities. I don't want to say Benue because it's like, normal things that happen every day. I'd like to get a reaction.
So you already answered it very appropriately. You would, before you are even licensed, some of the conditions precedent to getting licensed would be for you to be profiled. Right? You do not profile a person who you do not know his data. You don't have his data stored in any device anywhere. Nigeria is so not as organized as those kind of societies wherein you can just by the tap of a button get information about a person. Right? So the first thing that I find really very challenging is that we don't know who is who in Nigeria. So there is a certain Kemi who is living in Oshodi, and he can just say to you that I'm living in Oshodi. There's no proper, census that, they have taken, on Nigerians.
We had one in 1996, right?
Where is the data, for instance, in Nigeria, for you to be able to profile a person? Where's the data? One of the challenges that you have with banks even giving loans is that they do not even know where whoever they want to give these monies to, where they are even residing. And the banks came up with what is known as a know your customer platform, wherein they sent their account officers to the houses where these customers that want to take monies from the bank live. A lot of times there are fictitious reports that are brought back to the banks by these account officers, because indeed they really couldn't find the houses that these people claim that they live in. So I'm saying first off that it will be arduous, quite difficult for you to be able to profile people. That's the first thing. Then secondly, like you have said, and we have mentioned severally, that the people who actually need these arms today as I speak with you, do they have what it takes to go through the protocol of getting licensed? Do they have what it takes? The ones who have what it takes, the means, the economic means, for instance, they already have armed people protecting them in Nigeria, so they don't need arms, right? But the ones that are in Jukun, the ones that are in Orunworun, the ones that are, somewhere in Ahoda, somewhere in one community, somewhere in Nigeria, who ordinarily requires that they are protected by the government, but they are not protected because Nigeria has become like one WWW city, where anything can happen. These people do not have the monies, they do not have the facility, they do not have the wherewithal that is required as condition precedent before you can actually get licensed. How do you expect a market woman, for instance, go check the total number of people that were killed, profile them and see how many of them indeed
mostly farmers,
yes, farmers that are trying to eke out a living, struggling by the day. So how do you get these people who really need these arms, for instance, quote and unquote, to get through the arduous protocol of getting licensed before they are given the guns? And in any case, how much are these guns? Do they come cheaply? Are you just going to go to someone who's selling guns and say, I have 5,000, I need gun? How much are these guns? How much are the bullets, for instance, that you need in these guns? Have Nigerians eaten that right now you'll be thinking about carrying guns? I think that all of these things are, a pointer to the fact that the government is not doing enough to fix the troubles in Nigeria. The Constitution has aptly explained to us that the primary purpose of government shall be the welfare and the security of the people. Security is very paramount and very important, and that's why it was contemplated and put in the Constitution, so that the people would not need to carry guns, but the government will secure and protect them.
So talking about security of the people, over and over again, we keep hearing this is some sort of complicity by the military or security officers on these. I mean, there was even a time that the present vice president was fingered as, knowing a little bit about the Boko Haram or the Bandits. As a matter of fact, Fani Kayode had, in an occasion, made that accusation.
Absolutely.
And all of that. So do you see any sort of sabotage in our security apparatus or personnel? Do you think that that's why it's been a bit difficult to make this happen?
You don't need to be a prophet or clairvoyant to understand that things are the way they are, because there are certain let me be very careful with my choice of words tonight. There are certain things that are not being done well, because Abacha had said once upon a time, let me paraphrase, that if you had insecurity happening consistently over 48 hours and is not checked, is not brought under control, then the government must have a hand in it. Today, as I speak with you, I had said recently that once upon a time, Lai Mohammed told us that Boko Haram had been technically defeated.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many years ago that was told Nigerians? Boko Haram has been, since that was told us, proliferating as quickly as cancer cells proliferate in the body of a human. It's been spreading so strongly across Nigeria. As a matter of fact, there was a time when we even said that the elements that came to the south and they were doing kidnapping came as an offshoot of the spread of Boko Haram.
Mm-hmm.
They came to the south, came to the west, and they were in our forest, and they were kidnapping people and doing all sorts.
Raping.
And at this time, the government had told us that they are technically defeated Boko Haram. What does this tell you? Do you remember, Precious, that they even took $1 billion from our what is it now? Our sovereign wealth fund or something, without even going through the protocol? The National Assembly had not even signed. They just went ahead and they want to buy, and we are going to buy Tucano jet, we are going to buy Tikili jet, we are going to, all sorts of names and technical jargon was, said to us that once they did those things, that Boko Haram was going to be a thing of the past, insecurity in Nigeria was going to be a thing of the past. Precious, Nigerians are too naive. Go do a permutation of the amount that have been spent on the acquisition of military warhead since the days of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and particularly under President Muhammadu Buhari, and see how much
security allocation has topped our budget all of these years.
We have spent mad money that if we just merely channeled in the direction of infrastructure, we channeled hard or soft infrastructure, you would have found that Nigeria would have become better. But guess what? There are certain people that are fleecing this country, fleecing us seriously, and they are doing this under the heading of, insecurity is in Nigeria, let us channel a lot of monies in that direction, let us pump a lot of monies. What is happening? Who is auditing the protocol, the steps that have been taken? Who is following the money?
So another question I'd like to quickly ask, a guest here often does ask that question. We know that United Arab Emirates, the UAE, had given us, a list of people that to them were complicit in the sponsoring of Boko Haram during the administration of Muhammadu Buhari.
Absolutely.
Till date, we are yet Nigerians whose right it is to know those who have been tormenting them are yet to get details of those people. Until now, the government also haven't made perhaps secret arrests.
Yes.
At least if you don't make it public because you don't want to embarrass them, you should make secret arrest.
Yes.
Or you should do some secret discernment, something like that. We haven't heard. But consistently, we have seen situations where the government disarms, de-radicalizes, and reintegrates these people into the society. The same people who have rendered people homeless, occupied their lands, killed many, reintegrate them back into the society. Is it a surprise to you that all of these methods are not helping with the security, with the fight against insecurity?
Big contradiction put together by jargon. A big contradiction. I speak to you and I tell you the truth tonight. Because how do you do these things and the citizens indeed are still clapping? It was the then Attorney General of the Federation who told us that when they are ready, that's when they will release the name. Meanwhile, the same Attorney General was releasing names of other people and other things that they had not even concluded investigations on. But the United Arab Emirates has started dealing with their own quote and unquote terrorists under this list in their land.
And we are yet to deal with it.
And we are yet to even deal with it.
And we have gone to the same. And we have gone to the same United Arab Emirates to seek for investment.
Yes.
Should they take us serious, understanding that we know things like this and we keep it on the wraps?
There is no serious country that should take Nigeria seriously. I'm telling you the truth. No serious country, because there are too many contradictions in this country. Look at the recent one that happened that we are yet to fully even bust. You told us that you were going to have Nigeria Airways or Nigeria Airline. You took our monies. You went to do one logo
said
for
like it's a
Haram.
haste.
Quickly. Then we are going to leave government. You went to paint another person's airline and brought it to our country and started washing it with water and champagne. What can be more 419 now? What can be more 419? This 419 you say you are chasing Yahoo boys for. That you say, they will say that they have airport, their father's own airport, and they will do certain things and send to their white people there. The white people will bid for this airport, pay for this. What can be more of 419 than that? Have you heard EFCC talk about it? Have you heard ICPC talk about it? Have you heard the police talk about it? Did you hear the government talk about arresting anybody? They just sacked the directors,
some directors.
No, the ones that they are able to touch. Because the people who actually did these things, they are still enjoying their loot. They are still enjoying freedom. How else do you tag a country that would do things with such recklessness? How else do you tag a country or a government or a people?
Don't you just think that was a business deal gone bad in any way? Do you think it was a deliberate attempt to undo the country?
The man was not acting as an individual. He was acting as an agent of government under the president.
Emefiele acted as under instruction, according to him, and approval of the president, but he's facing the punishment alone.
Absolutely. You see, that's why I say that is a big contradiction now. How else do we define contradiction? You are chasing after Emefiele, and it's not to say Emefiele did not do evil things, at least by the report that we have seen. But he that comes to equity must come with clean hands. If you want to indeed show to the people that you have got integrity, you want to indeed show to the people that you are very interested in weeding off corruption, you must not only be seen as doing it, the people indeed must know that you will do it and you will pursue it to the end. Today, what have we seen? We have seen that the people who have fleeced us the most in this country, they are still being driven around by the security system in our country. You see that there are 22 vehicles, police vehicles in front of them, or 30 police vehicles in front of them. As an ex-minister, there are also 25 behind them. There are these police officers whooping the private car owners, chasing them for the thieves that stole from us. They are assaulting private road users because in their minds they are protecting people who are VIPs, and these VIPs stole this much from us. The government simply just said, what do we do so that Nigerians will not see us as people who are partial? This man, this Festus Keyamo submitted this report, and he seemed to have even said a few things in the public that would suggest that he's not happy with what happened. So what do we do? Let us bring out some scapegoats. What do we do? Okay. The directors fire them. fire them. And what do we do? Those who are the small fishes, let's quickly fry them. What has happened to the big fishes? Nigerians are not asking those critical questions. They are still strolling about, driving in their jeeps and folding their babariga everywhere from Abuja to Lagos to Port Harcourt. What has happened to them? We are not calling them to account. They are stolen from us. Everyone listening to me right now, go and do a quick Google search around how much was spent to design the logo of Nigeria Airways. The so-called Nigeria airline that they said they wanted to give to us before the end of their government. Do a quick Google search to see how much was spent on it just to design logo. That we have a lot of fine designers in Nigeria that will do it under 1 hour just to design logo. We spent that much money. At the end of the day, we went to paint, Ethiopian airline. We painted it in Nigerian color, brought it here and started spraying water on it. 419 in the highest order. 419. This is 5 to 10. Something a bit higher than 419. And these people should all have been arrested and locked up and the keys thrown away perpetually. But guess what? Because of the contradictions that we see in this country, that it will take the people to be, concertedly ready to unravel for this stench to be cleared out. Because of these contradictions, we will keep saying a lot of these, pardon my use of the word, nonsenses in this country unabated.
Oops. All right. So speaking about corruption now, let's just move quickly. I think this administration is taking a step towards that direction, as former Minister of Minister Sadi Farouk has been called and invited by the EFCC for questioning concerning some, amount of money that went in some way in her administration. So former
Can you
Minister,
remember Andrew Yakubu? Sorry that I'm botching. Andrew Yakubu. They found amounts of monies that if you gave to my you gave to my clan in my community, you gave that money to my clan, we would never know poverty again in our lives. They found those monies. Guess what? Andrew Yakubu, my namesake, unfortunately, they're taking him to court. He won the case and is asking that EFCC to quickly give him back his money. How do you even explain that? If Nigeria is not one country that, and I really want to be careful with my church, if I speak the way I'm feeling tonight, how do you explain that? How do you explain it? I can give you a plethora of a lot of these kinds of events that took place under the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. He has the gumption. You don't understand pressure. The temerity to be asking the system to return its money. Return what money? Who were you before you became the GMG of NNPC?
But have you also asked yourself, about the past accountant general that, over 109 billion naira of
Are you telling me that was I can give you a plethora of this?
And then the same accountant general was said to have, come to a plea bargain, as it were, with the administration. First of all, I think they said he returned about 200 billion. I mean, a certain amount of billion. Yes. You can't remember and all of that. So, but then again, people would want to ask, what's the way forward with the accountant general?
What is the way forward?
When is he returning the rest of the money?
It will happen exactly like everything else.
Because the Nigerian air thing you said, there were accusations that about 85 billion naira was spent in it. But I do remember that sometime in June, I think June last year, Hadi Sirika did have an interview on the Rice Television where he did say that, as a matter of fact, contrary to speculations and the rumor that 85 billion naira was spent on that Nigerian air, that it was less than 3 billion naira that was spent. And I'm wondering, if even up to 1 billion was spent in the design of logo alone, logo.
I always ask.
So do you think that amount, less than 3 billion was at least adequate enough for the design of Nigerian air logo? That's a national carrier of a country. Would that have been an appropriate fund?
If I spent 1 million naira every day, it would take me over 3 years to spend 1 billion naira. If I spent 1 million naira every day, and who is that person who is able to spend 1 million naira every day that is not a madman or a mad woman? If I spent 1 million naira every day, precious, it would take me more. Nigerians, listen, because when we hear these figures in Nigeria, we just think that these are monies that we can use to go and buy Guguru and Ekpa, or use to go and buy Burukutu, or go and buy some things that we can use to enjoy in clubs. If I spent 1 million naira every day, 1 million naira is not 900,000 naira. It's not 999,000 naira. If I spend 1 million every day, it would take me more than 3 years to finish spending 1 billion. And a man who is your servant, a man who is supposed to be acting on your behalf, a man who is supposed to be accountable to you, they speak to us as though we are their slaves. They speak to us as though we are senseless. They speak to us as though Nigerians are, in any case, they are proven it that Nigerians, once you beat them, they run to the wall. You beat them a bit more, they drill the wall. You beat them a bit more, they hide inside the wall. You beat them a bit more, they fence themselves inside the wall. That's why leadership has failed to do whatever it is that they were called to do for us. That's why they can sit and say to us that they spent 3 billion, whatever the case is. And who even vetted that to confirm it? Go see what these people are doing. Precious, if I stand here tonight and I speak to the wanton corruption that has happened in this country, especially under the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, you would just start weeping profusely.
So one of those things that you may call corruption is, some of the things that played out under the Ministry of the Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, and including that of social development.
Absolutely.
Where we saw that school children were fed during COVID-19 period.
Let me even shock you.
I was going to come.
Do you know they said that Kano State, the population of students that are enrolled in school is far less than that in a lot of states in the south, a lot of states in the west or in the east. But the woman had the gumption to say to us that trillions of naira were spent to feed children in Kano State. And Nigerians are quiet.
You are aware that that's the statement about the most population in
How
Nigeria?
many of these people? Okay, let's even agree.
According to the last census,
yes, let's agree.
I mean the 1996 census.
Let's agree without conceding fully that they have the highest population. How many of these people are enrolled in schools? How many of them? Have you been to some of these states in the north and see the population of their almajiris? Have you been there? You would dare not eat in public.
I mean, that's the reason why Nigeria has over 20 million children out of school.
You need to go check it. Go check the statistics. The statistics are heart-wrenching.
A country that over 10% of its population is, out of school.
Yes. And do you know what the 10% of our population is? It's more than some countries' population of the world.
So many countries doing so well. I mean, an African country, Namibia, is just about 2 million. So
what are you talking about? Now, the woman said that to us. We listened to it. We allowed it. We applauded it. Journalists spoke about it for 24 hours. I keep accusing you people, the journalists. They spoke about it for 24 hours. We all went to sleep. Whatever happened to that money, the new government came. Oh, Sarah, whatever will be. They came again and said, okay, let's leave that. Whatever has happened, let's move on. And these monies are not the monies that belong to either of Muhammadu Buhari or Bola Tinubu or even Goodluck Jonathan. They are Nigerian monies. It is as a result of the fact that they are packing these monies to themselves that you find poverty on the streets of Lagos.
So Dr. Andy, the good thing is that she's been called for questioning by the EFCC over a 37 billion. In fact, as a matter of fact, the money in total is 37 billion 170 million 855,753 naira thereabout. That was laundered under the through a contractor, James Okwete, who by the way is also called for questioning. So it's gathered that the former minister was to appear to EFCC today by 10 a.m. To answer questions concerning that money. How did the money go? 37 billion naira. That's a lot of money. So do you see EFCC pursuing this particular case with logical conclusion?
What comes to my mind is that famous song, after the reggae, play the blues.
The blues.
I am telling you, nothing. I can say this with all audacity. Nothing will come out of it.
Do you lack confidence in an anti-graft agency?
You can call me cynical, you can call me chronic pessimist, you can call me whatever. From experience, when they started that quote and unquote, when Nigerians want to tell lie or they want to do bad thing, they'll put very superfluous and highfalutin verbs in front of the thing. They say, we want to do forensic auditing of NDDC. The day they said it, I said, if anything comes out of it,
don't go to NDDC because that's your radio. NDDC is another matter. It's a conduit pipe to suck money. So
I will stop talking on radio. I will stop talking on TV. I will change my name if anything comes. I said it on Facebook. Go follow me on Facebook and you see it.
Your name is still Andy Accusse.
Andy Accusse on Facebook. I said it. Guess what? They began to play the reggae. We are seeing the reggae. Then, after the reggae, the blues came. We started hearing, Mr. Speaker, off your mic. The mic had been turned off till this very moment. We have not turned on that mic. They said, they carried it. Akpabio said they carried the forensic audit. They carried it to the president. And the president looked, hey God, Nigeria is a joke. It's a contradiction. They carried those things to the president, and nothing has happened. Precious, did you hear that one person was called in by EFCC over the so-called forensic audit? That in any case, Nigerians, listen to me, we spent so much money paying those auditors. Do you know what that means? What is the opportunity cost of that money that was spent on those auditors to audit NDDC? What could we have done with that money that would have benefited the peoples of Nigeria from the north to the south to the east and the west? What could we have done? We gave those monies to forensic auditors. They came with their suits and their ties. They went forensically auditing everything and entering everywhere. Came out with their reports. They have condemned it to that file in Aso Rock, where they keep things and keep them in perpetuity without looking at it, telling us that they know what to do to fix the country, but they understand that the people are too gullible. Therefore, we will not do those things to fix the country, and nothing will happen. The audit is kept there, nothing has happened. So I'm saying today again, Nigerians, listen to me. These calls you are seeing, they are reggaes, and I would love for you to play that song if you can. After the reggae, play the blues. As soon as the reggae is almost dying out, the blues will come in. You know what the blues will be? The blues will be the time when you start seeing that they are having conversations outside of the nose and the eyes of the press. They are having bedroom conversations, backyard conversations around how they are not going to expose it any further. They are doing internal trade-offs and tradings. At the end of the day, everything is quieting.
But Dr. Andy, is it not a bit on the contrary that we, just by what you said, we experience this huge level of corruption under an administration that is of a person who is said to be incorruptible? Is it not quite an irony? Because a lot of people voted for President Muhammadu Buhari because he is under the guise of Precious. An incorruptible man.
My prayer, I pray to a lot of young ladies and a lot of Nigerians is that may Buhari not happen to you. If Buhari happens to you, it will take you almost 2 lifetimes to come back from that happening. Have you forgotten?
So do you not think that it was just people around him? Because as a person, the president is incorruptible.
The box stops on his table.
Because that's the same thing that happened to Jonathan. Jonathan,
Buhari. See, let me tell you, I always quote Obasanjo. Obasanjo said once upon a time that I have ministers, I have advisors. Theirs is to advise me. Mine is to take it or not to take it. Obasanjo said it now. I have ministers. I'm watching all of them. Theirs is to advise me now. But mine is to take it or not to take it. Mine is to do the work.
Because if you follow the line of action, President Jonathan was accused of being weak and vulnerable, of not being in charge. You know that.
Yes.
That's part of what we wanted to change in 2015, and we voted him out. We voted a person who was incorruptible, who was a former general, who's a man
incorruptible. From hindsight, we can't we voted a person who is. We can't even say we voted a person who is incorruptible.
He's not
who was assumed to be incorruptible. Who was imagined to be incorruptible. We heard him say,
but you cannot hold the president responsible for anything.
I want to tell you some of them that you can hold him responsible for now. He said the presidential fleet, they are too much. We are going to trade off some. We are going to sell it. If we don't sell it, it will not be good. See example in Tanzania when John Pompo Magufuli died. When the deputy came, she said, we are going to trade off this. We are going to say, guess what? He didn't trade off nothing. To add insult to injury, he allowed his daughter to go and do her own school research with a presidential private jet. Do you know what Garba Shehu said to us? Insulting the sensibilities and the sensitivities of Nigeria. Garba Shehu told us that they are the presidential family, and the presidential jet is open to the president's family. Are you kidding me? Go everywhere else in the world. The family of the president, they are not entitled to those. We didn't vote them into office.
I think there was a time that what's his name now? Obama had an issue with the president that he had to pay.
Absolutely. Do you even know that there are certain things that are paid for from the pocket of the president of America? Why they are even living? Why they are even living in White House?
If he has a guest, I remember that the wife said it the other time.
Yes.
That if a guest comes in, or if he just mistakenly says he likes this particular fish, they'll go and import it for him.
Yes.
And if they bring it in, it's on his bill.
Yes.
He's paying for it.
To him.
And she said she had to tell her husband, Barack, you have to stop saying you like anything.
Yes.
Because whatever you like, they bring it in, and we think it's gonna be for free.
Yes.
But we'll end up paying for it.
In Nigeria, sons and daughters of our presidents take our private jet. Let me tell you what it means to even take our private jet. Just hold on a second. It means you are taking our security system on a frolic. When the private jet is moving, it just reminds
me of one that happened around this period to somewhere in the north. To somewhere in the north.
It doesn't just move. The presidential jet will move with security, heavy security. The presidential jet will move,
and that's on the bill of the nation.
On the bill of the nation, and they are flying the daughter, the son, the house girl, the side chick of the president in whatever case. Yes.
Item 7s are among.
I am telling you now, you do not know that one. And you will see the people who are supposed to look at the president in the face will say, Mr. President, sir, we respect you so much, but this is unethical. Not just only unethical, this is totally illegal. Nobody is ready to look at them because they are afraid. They are afraid that they are going to get sacked, they are going to get whooped, and they will chop up certain charges against them and lock them up. So everyone is running around whoever is in power to help him break the law. That's what happens in Nigeria. You find people who should know better running around the person who is in leadership position and helping him break the laws in Nigeria. And once that is done, Nigerians are celebrating. Are you aware of this Akanda general we are talking about? When he went to his village, they were clapping, they were dancing, they were jubilating that this man, they were trying to vilify him, they were trying to crucify him, he has not done anything wrong. Nobody is asking critical questions. See, Precious, towards the end of last year, let me say to you now, if it was not because of you, I had said to myself that I will stop every kind of political commentary on radio, on TV, everywhere. And I came to that decision because of the singular fact that I thought Nigerians were not ready to take back their country. How do we permit such perfidy? How do we permit such stench as a people? How do we permit such evil as a people from these, wicked leaders that we have? How do we permit it? How do we allow this to be happening from the days when I was born till today? How can we allow this? Let me tell you, if a man marries a woman and finds that the woman was cheating, or the woman finds that the man was cheating, or the man was doing certain thing untoward or not according to the contract, guess what happens? They divorce now, Precious. They divorce. If they don't divorce, they walk away. They separate. The woman stands up to the man and says, I did not understand this, that this was going to be you when I was coming into this marriage. Therefore, I do not think I can contain this anymore. If you are able to stand up to your husband in the house as a woman, Nigerians listening to me now, listen carefully. If you are able to stand up to your wife in the house, Why don't you have what it takes to stand up to the government that is even doing certain things that are worse than what your wife could ever have done to you, or what your husband could ever have done to you? What is the worst thing your husband will do to you? He will go out to go and meet another woman, right? What is the worst thing your husband will do to you? He will hit you physically, right? The government consistently, they are raping us. It's not like they are going out to meet another woman. They are consistently raping Nigerians, raping us with reckless abandon. The government consistently, they are hitting us and physically abusing us on a daily basis. And you are not talking and you are not divorcing. Who are you?
Hey, Dr. Andy. All right, so let's move quickly to other conversations because Lagos is itching to jumping on this. So Denmark have announced visas for welders, bricklayers, mechanics, teachers, and others. Is this another route to jackpot for our people? I don't want to give details of that before I'll be giving people details of how to jackpot. But then again, this comes amid, a controversy today that PCL,
yes,
marketers clash over subsidy while operators peg petrol at 1,200 naira. That is to say that we're no longer going to be buying fuel for 800 and something now and something naira per liter. 600 and something or 5 something per liter now.
You're already taking it to 800 and 900.
We're buying it. We're buying expanded. So we're buying for 1,200 naira now per liter. It's crazy. So do you see the hardship that comes with this fuel increment, as it were now, to push Nigerians to tow this route?
So, by your natural inclinations, you would gravitate towards the places where you would have rest, where you would have peace, where you would have succor, more than you would around the places where you will have problems, right? You will not blame anyone. This jackpotting is not about to end. I do not think flight is remedy anyways, personally.
Okay, so you don't believe in jackpot?
I think fight
okay
is better than flight. Particularly if you were going to x-ray the circumstance, and the circumstance is suggestive of that fight was better than flight. I may have confused a few people, but I can stretch the conversation further. There are certain circumstances that flight would be appropriate, right? So that you can fight. You take your flight, you prepare that you can fight. There are some other circumstances that immediate fight without flight is appropriate. I'm saying that as much as I understand that Nigeria is not providing for us the atmosphere to thrive, as youths, as even the aged, or the senior citizens, Nigeria is not providing that atmosphere.
So you think that it's not an environment that rewards hard work?
Absolutely.
And
I have said that there are only 3 kinds of people in Nigeria that prosper, and this will shock a lot of people listening to me right now. It will take you, or it will require you, to be notorious, especially violently notorious,
for you to prosper in Nigeria.
That's on one hand. And I can call
you have to be an Agbero.
I can call names of a lot of people. See how the Agberos are quickly promoted, and we are celebrating some of them across the country, from the north to the south to the east and the west. There are senior Agberos that are celebrated, who would not be able to, anyway, let me not stretch it there. They are unable to even motivate anybody in society. But today, they have got the money to be able to do whatever they want to do. 2, you would have to be someone who knows someone who is high up there and got high up there as a result of certain...
So I am.
Yes.
Okay.
Totally. If you didn't, you cannot become somebody in this country. Thirdly, which is the one that is the most arduous, you would have to struggle and struggle. And this kind of struggle is the one that I would liken to the one that Jesus told as a parable. Like the camel passing through the eye of the needle. You would have to struggle. That's the third category. Because you are struggling against the environment. You are struggling against the tendencies that you find or the proclivities that you find even in that environment.
Do you also struggle against principalities and powers?
You are struggling against principalities.
Oh, wow.
In that environment. If you were not in any of these three categories and you just wanted to do your thing like you have people do in Sweden, like you have people do in Norway, you didn't have to have any of this. Just go get a skill. Just go get an education. And you would be able to live by. You'll be able to get by. You'll be able to do things. But in Nigeria, go get a PhD for all I care. Go get the best skill for all I care. If someone did not recommend you to someone who knows someone who is in Aso Rock or who is high up there, you are getting nowhere in Nigeria. If you were not notorious, like I always say, I say there are only two ways to win election in Nigeria. What you call political structure is bifurcated into two. The amount of violence you can deploy on election day and the amount of money you can push around on election day.
So that's a structure.
That's political structure in Nigeria. So the people who help them to perpetuate this violence on the streets, they are the ones who are quickly promoted. They are made local government chairmen. They are quickly promoted. They are made heads of boards, ministries, departments, and agencies. They are quickly promoted. Some are made commissioners. They are quickly promoted, and some are made governors. I can say to you, some of the governors that I grew up to meet, if you had a one-on-one with them, you'll be wondering, how did this person rise to this level? Once upon a time in Ibadan, when the then Adedibu was holding sway in that town, he had said to a Ladoja that, listen to me, when we were having this deal, I had said to you that your security vote, I was entitled to a portion of it. But here you are, you have become the governor, and you think you know more than me. I will impeach, and he impeached him. And guess who we brought to take over from him? Alao Akala. I leave the rest for the rest. Or for the listeners to go and research.
So, Dr. Andy, we need to open our phone lines now. So, I wanted us to chime in on this conversation about the FBI documents the FBI releasing yet another pile of documents. But let's leave that matter for another day. Let's open the phone lines because Nigerians are itching to coming to the conversation. Lagos phone lines are opening 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening to you. Hello? Yes, good evening and welcome. We cannot do this bad network. Are you there? Welcome.
Yes. So good evening.
Yes, sir.
I just thank the guest there because my name is Mr. Amadi calling from you.
Mr. Amadi, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Very well. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Oh, you said right. But you know that is the problem of this country. Nobody call these leaders to give account after their stewardship. That is the only reason they are doing everything they like. Otherwise,
so you think we don't hold our elected officials accountable for their stewardship?
So politicians now, our leaders now, everybody knows stewardship. Stewardship when they are leaving the office. They are not giving.
Do you think that's correct, Dr. Andy?
Absolutely.
If they are giving, they cannot. If they are giving, they cannot be messing around. Look at it
your phone line is bad, but I think you've made your point. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sir. Let's quickly run to all the callers. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan. I'm calling from London.
Jonathan, you're welcome. Very quickly, let's hear you.
Okay. God bless your guest there.
God bless you too. Go ahead.
Yeah, your guest has said a lot. Just a picture of what we in Nigeria are facing, either diaspora or inside or outside. But what my pain regarding what he said is that if what's it called, politician in Ondo states can use the signature of a dead man.
You have to see that, right?
I don't know what else we cannot do again. Thank you very much.
You have to say that, my brother. Jonathan, I have to say that.
Jonathan.
Don't even bring me to that environment.
Jonah, how many times did we call you? Hello, good evening to you. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Sister Precious.
Good evening to you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Go ahead. Go ahead, please. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Once more.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my name is Peter Usifo. I'm speaking from Abamajani.
You're welcome, Peter. Go ahead. Straight to the point now.
Thank you very much. I want to speak on Tony Falana's statement that people should bear arms.
Okay, go ahead.
In my own opinion, he's just trying to protect the elite and people like him. Because it's only such people that can bear arms, the elite. Actually, solution to this thing I said is this, if you allow me to elaborate. First of all, anybody that is 18 years old and above, and is up to 18 years old, it should be a sort of organization where the military should allow them, should train them skillfully, not only theoretically, but give them the skills, either in secondary school, those people in SS3 who are up to 18 years, and of course in universities. You understand? So, I know in universities, especially in political science class, there's got a course even in military relations, which is a course probably in the final year. But this one should be brought down very low to Nigerians who are 18 years and above. Train them. People should be even in their own curriculum if possible. Maybe for 6 months, a term, a whole term, or a semester. Part of their course should be about bearing arms skillfully and theoretically. And those people who are illiterate, who are not able to go to school, even as not as they are 18 years and above, there is a place for them to be trained like that. Then after training, then they now profile them and, if possible, bring down the amount of guns, arms, and ammunition for them to be able to purchase, or even the government can subsidize. That is very, very realistic. In America, for today, even little children, maybe 10 years, 16 years, and above, they will be able to protect themselves. So to say in Nigeria that we have right to bear arms, it's only talking about the elite like himself. That is that.
All right, thank you.
On NNPCL.
Yes.
Please permit me to tell you, in my own opinion, that there are rumors that one price of fuel, maybe 1,200 naira per liter. It's a rumor, but there's sense in nonsense. And maybe they are just trying to fight Nigerians to see whether
why do you really think it's a rumor, by the way? Are you aware of the amount, the distance between naira and dollar? So if you're buying from direct market prices, do you know what that means?
Please permit me to say this. For now, it is still 650 naira per liter officially.
Okay, so that means, but you're aware that if we're still buying it 600, you're aware that if we're buying it for that amount, that means one way or the other, the government must still be regulating the petrol. Because if it's, subsidizing petrol. Because if it's not subsidized, we ought to buy it more than that. Do you agree?
Please, can you just let me to land, please?
Okay. Land finish. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You see, the government, especially Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he removed subsidy when he came to power. We agree that. But many of our analysts, or even Nigerians, are still saying that he did not, that the subsidy is still being paid. The subsidy is still there. It's only just about a week or 2 weeks ago that the World Bank even said that Nigeria should be the government should make use of at least 750 naira. You understand? So some people are just hyping that there's something.
Should I read that article for you? That article that I quoted, should I read it clearly for you so you understand why marketers are saying that fuel has to be about 1,200? You know what I just did was to scratch the surface, the headline. Do you want me to read the details of that conversation for you?
I'm even appealing that if possible, let the government not do it now, because things are very difficult for the poor masses. It will lead to anarchy. We don't want anarchy in Nigeria. So we want to, if possible, let them not increase that price. At most,
it's an appeal that you're making. It's not that you really meant the fact that it's a rumor like you mentioned earlier. Is that what you're saying?
can appeal because there may be truth in that rumor that they are just fighting the people to
All right, thank you. Thank you. Let me let you go now so I can take more calls. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Very much.
All right, enjoy the rest of your evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. Go ahead, please, very quickly. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Ihai calling from Surulere.
Yeah, you're welcome. Go ahead.
I will say hello. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
I will laugh. Let me copy what Obasanjo did some years ago. Now laugh at the laugh. You see, Nigeria is really a circus show.
It is.
What I mean by circus show is that
it is.
It is
A circus show
because it's like I keep shouting over the air, both here and on our platform. I think what we have more is a systemic issue. Systemic in the sense that what the guests have been saying at the background since, whether from Buhari or the Jonathan or whoever, is systemic because sometimes you wonder, is it that the men in charge are fools or that the system is overwhelming them? I think the system is overwhelming them. Hello, can you hear me?
Very well, go ahead.
The system is overwhelming them, even though one man cannot make a forest, but the system is overwhelming them. So all I'm trying to say is that how do we get out of it? Because if you watch now, our laws are the issues, the interpretation are the issues, the body language of everybody are the issues. Everything is just the issue. Personal aggrandizement, our value system, all these things are not systemic. Personal aggrandizement is part of the issue. Nobody's interested in the process. What everybody knows is the end. What do I get out of the system? That is in everybody's mindset. Even the things you don't need, that I don't know whether it's gluten or what. Even the things you don't need, everybody just want to grab it. As if there's a competition, there's a trophy at the end of the day. I just don't understand this country. To the detriment of everybody. And the worsening the whole thing. The worsening the whole thing is in fact, let me say it this way. Leadership is the problem, but more problem is the followership because of our high level of docility.
Docility, my brother, docility.
If you push us to the wall, we will the energy of replying back.
We use it to borehole.
Is lesser, but we better break the wall, axe, enter
and get into it. Yes.
Even if you push us inside the wall, we keep digging. In fact, we enter the foundation and keep running. It is a problem. The earlier we realize this, we'll keep on shouting on, God, where is God? Oh, God, come and help us. God will say, I'm here. God will say, you will say, we are waiting for God. God will say, I'm waiting for you. If you move, I move. You are my hand in the earth. God has no authority again on earth. The whole authority has been given to us. It is by will. If we move, he moves with us. If we don't move, he'll be looking at us. Our problem is systemic, sir. I don't know if we can provide solutions. Is it? I don't even know.
All right, thank you.
That is why no sector of this system is
spared. No sector is spared.
Economy is failing, security is failing, education is failing. Tell me where is working. People marriages are failing. Everybody is failing. The only thing that is not failing now is the air we breathe.
Corruption is not failing. Corruption is not failing yet, sir. Corruption.
No, corruption is that's why I say systemic. Corruption is even advancing, like we have newer technologies.
I'm telling you,
modernizing it, each time we want to catch them, they'll be 3 times ahead of you.
I'm telling you.
They have studied the populace and know our docility that do you know that before I go out of the air, I told a friend that if in a joking way, I said if you give me Nigeria to govern for 4 years, I can use the first 3 years, mess up everywhere. Everybody will be swearing that I enter my father in my grave to the grave to meet my forefathers. The last 6 months, pay some areas of minimum wages that I've owed, pay 1 or 2 things, do 1 or 2 things. Everybody will clapping and I come out and say, please, gentlemen, forgive me. I don't know what came over me. And everybody will say, well, let's give me another chance. When I enter second term, I'll finish the whole thing. And the next man will come. It's cyclic. And yet we don't think, we don't reason. I think we think with our hands, not with our heads. Let me leave it there for now. Our problem is...
Thank God it's not any other part of our body apart from our hands. It's okay. Thank you, brother.
In 1999, this one I witnessed with my kuro eye. The then military administrator came to hand over to a civilian. He came in a 504 Peugeot car, black, with white inside. Then the man who took over from him as a civilian governor came in an SUV. Asked me, are they not the same job function? Forget their regalia. Is it not the same job function? What is the problem? Is it that the 504 was taking this man somewhere and this one couldn't take this man somewhere? Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
That's the problem. Why did you not bloat everything under civilian? In fact, we don't have democracy. We have civilian regime. Until these people start earning great level salary sector like us, start going to market, start paying like Obama and the wife were paying, because they are buying free fuel, free housemaid, this one we're talking of fuel, 1,000 to 1,003. They don't know. All they know is they just come out, the driver will open the door, they sit down, AC car will move them to an AC office, to an AC room, everything. They don't know. They don't, the salary they are paying. I can bet you a governor that will be there for 4 years cannot spend 1 naira from his salary from day one to the end. Everything is paid for. Why are we like this? Why are we like this? Until they start feeling the pain we feel, we are heading nowhere. They then better enter grade level structure. Is a country that has another commission for civil servants, for salaries and minimum wages commission, the revenue and mobilization for the public servants. What kind of country?
What kind of country is that?
All right, thank you so much.
Huge circus.
Thank you so much. Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Welcome.
I'm glad that I got through today.
Thank you.
I want to just ask a question to everyone that has contributed. You spoken well, but then I am saying, can we start advocating, because we are more than 200 million people? When you travel abroad, you see that people are fewer, and when they are fewer, you are able to monitor each and every one. I believe that I cannot come into your studio and protect you. Okay? You have to protect yourself in your studio, because you know very well living there. So why can't we start advocating to be very
So your line is muffled up. We can barely hear you. I don't know if you can move away.
Well, if we hear him well, is China not protecting China? Is China not protecting China with billions of people? So
our population should be an excuse.
The population is not the issue. It's the system. It's the failings that you have got, the endemic failings that you have got in this system. A huge circus, a huge contradiction.
I beg to refuse, because China speaks one language, but here in Nigeria we speak multiple language, more especially Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba is recognized. And nobody from the Northerners will be able to allow everyone to press their neck. And they will say, no, this is our brother. You cannot do that. Okay? If anybody from Yoruba is doing something bad and everybody else wants to gather to press their neck, they will say, no, this is our brother, is our friend. You cannot do that. If anybody from Igbo land is going to do
so you think our diversity is a major issue that we have?
China does not speak one language.
I wanted to say that because there's Mandarin, that there's other.
They just have an official language.
Yes.
But in China, they don't speak one language. They have an official language, which is Mandarin, but they have other languages that they speak also in China. So it's not just about language. Mandarin is the official language, like English is the official language in Nigeria, but they have other languages that they speak.
I want to make you understand that if you're driving around Lagos and you mistakenly hit an Okada man, there will be around 1,000 Okada around your vehicle. And there is possibility that vehicle will be burned down. There is a big hatred, and the law is not working. The insurance is not working. Nothing is working. And it will be very important for the people to come together and say, let us go back to our home villages. Let us go and protect ourselves in the villages. Then we will reorganize if the nation will be back together. This is my opinion.
But are you aware that Nigeria is not the only country with such diversity? Most countries. Most countries.
America has got diversities. India has got diversities.
I do, but if I get you correctly, nothing is working, and nobody wants to die. Who is taking responsibility for the people that are being massacred there on the target when the NSAS was coming in? There's no one, because I don't have uniform and I don't have guns. You understand? When you have uniform, you find that people who are having uniform and guns are supposed to protect you and I, but they're not doing the right thing. You understand?
All right,
so
thank you.
In other nations, please.
Thank you.
Please, this is my opinion. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let me run quick to my messages. Mark from Agege says, your guest is wrong. It doesn't take 1 hour to design a logo. It takes minutes. Also, he said updates.
I agree.
Updates. The half kilo of chicken is now 1,929. That is, a kilo is now about 3,800 to 4,000 naira.
It takes minutes, my brother.
Sorry, and he says,
wrong.
and there are rumors that petrol may jump to 1,200. Well, he said, make we play, keep playing, and then
we will learn the hard way.
Again, from Agege says, when exactly would the northern elites make up their minds to stop the killings of innocent Nigerians in Nigeria? I wonder how someone would just pound on and kill another who did no wrongs to him or her. It's unimaginable. I think the government of the day and northern political elites should, not keep allowing this to happen because of whatever they have to benefit from. Well, you said a lot. I appreciate you. You know that I have to, cut that off from there, right? Okay, so Dayo from Fagwa says, beautiful, precious. I cannot read all these your messages. Talk about change. They say it is their turn to be leaders of the people. Let them. He said, tell them I have been there before and no one can deceive me with running mouth again. Lately, when we see them preaching to the crowd, the true test of leader is to lead right in front and be responsible when things go wrong. Real men of action, no be excuses. What do you expect from... Okay, well, you said a lot. I appreciate you. And he says the last census in Nigeria was in 2006. Oh, sorry, no, 1996, 2006. Thank you, I appreciate you. And then he says, wow, this is another tough analyst in the house. What is stringent and intelligent analyst, bro? You too much, eh? I hail you 100 times. Respect, long life and prosperity, upon your life. Francis from First Act. Dr. Andy. The love. All right. And then Uche from Surulere says, all right, the current National Social Register took the same fraudulent lines. Majority of the people there are not the vulnerable Nigerians, but party members. You journalists should probe this register. Okay. Gold Melon from Oshodi says, tears are just rolling off my eyes as your guest is speaking. We are just too cool in this country. That's why our politicians are fooling us and still continue to fool us until we wake up. But make we sleep now. Adegbo Igadidiji says, the trajectory path of a nation building has just been abandoned by the daily horrific events of killings, abduction, kidnapping, and corruption matters year in, year on, and without significant changes in our lives in the nation. Well, you said a lot. I appreciate you. And then, okay. Oh, my phone lines are on fire. I say a big amen to your guest's prayer. May Buhari never happen to any of our lives again. When you catch him from Ajayi State. But why did you people not say this when he was alive? And then, did I say alive? Sorry, when he was in government.
We said it.
Sorry.
We said it.
AY from Mushi says, God bless this man real good. He did speak my mind. I hope Nigerians have ears. Let them listen and take action. And then, Ezekiel from Ejigbo says, many thanks to your guest. He speaks the mind of true Nigerians with so much passion for Nigerians, just like Mr. Darlington. Those who accuse many of us for being APC government are emotional beings. They can talk however they want. Anyway, that's what you said. Okay, let me just go back to phone lines again. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, Precious.
Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Hugo. I'm calling you from First Stack.
Hugo, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
I really want to appreciate your guest there. I'm just happy he spoke the way he spoke, like fire. And I'm happy he's not an Igbo person, because he could have been like he's the Igbos talking. I hope those guys who were calling you that day and were lambasting you will be able to stay hooked on now to discover that the person in the studio is not from the Southeast. That's number one. Then number two, since I think it was 2006.
2006, yes,
now,
I remember. Thank you.
I was part of it, and most of the guys who were part of what we call mapping. Before the general census, that's what we used to call mapping, where you need to assign locations, areas, and then households to any particular area. Mapping was done, then I was part of it. Now, by the time mapping was almost over, then we discovered what happened in the north. People who did this mapping, who were part of the mapping, will confirm this. Now, we discovered that most of the areas that were mapped in the north, most of them were like farmlands or deserts. But the northern guys, with the way they arranged it, why I'm saying this is just because of this population, that they are saying that these people are more in population. I don't believe that, because I saw from the mapping that these guys assigned households to empty lands, to farmlands, to deserts. We saw this because we worked there as well. Now, by the time we discovered that from in the Southeast, the mapping exercise was over. So there's nothing we could do to optimize that. So the fact is, for me, this population census that we did in Nigeria, that we used that data to do a lot of things, it was a pure scam.
But at least we'll have one very soon. The one we ought to have had last year, we'll have it again.
You will not have sense.
We spent it's about 800 billion naira that was allocated.
You will not
with 800 billion naira already allocated. About 200 billion out of that 800 has already been spent.
Before the election.
And the Accusse. Are you aware that we've gathered 800 billion naira for that?
Regardless,
and then out of that 800 billion, over 200 billion has been spent.
If you had census in this, okay, let me allow you.
Sir, the money confirmed spent now. If you check, it could have been for the prep up. That's mapping. And that's where they do the real making in the north. Guys who did mapping can confirm what I am telling you. Most of us went to the north. You don't have a choice, you have to do it. And people assigned households
to trees and sand. I say assigned houses to trees and farmlands.
Yes, to farmlands, to deserts. Mm-hmm. You understand? So
people live in the farms.
As long as that particular system is still in place, that corruption is in place in the north, there's no way north will not have population more than any other region in Nigeria.
It is not even a thing. It is not a thing.
From Abuja to Nasarawa to Para to Panshin Lantan to Mango to Zaria.
My brother,
these people know too much.
I share in your pain, but it's not a thing.
There's so much scam.
It's not a thing of the north alone. There are commissioners of Igbo extraction, of Southern extraction, Yoruba extraction, in that population commission that know these things, and they are giving verve, they are giving guts they are giving power to even this corruption.
You see, but I mean is that the person who was the commissioner of NPC that time was from my town, and I know him very well. But what surprised us was that while we were walking there and we're seeing the loopholes, I wouldn't know how these guys do not understand. But when we came back, we had to do that report as an inside scoop. That let's look at what we saw in the field. This is what was happening there.
Sorry, it's okay. We have to let you go now because our phone lines are on fire, so we can take
nothing else.
The heads understand this is the kind of corruption that is happening in this country. A conspiracy.
Dr. Andy, you're live on public radio?
Yes, that's what is happening in this country now. They understand. You think they don't understand? You think the commissioners do not know what's happening? You think the people who are in INEC do not know what is happening? Why are you deceived now? Once upon a time, we saw an INEC commissioner. She was there when they saw people who were exchanging monies. They interviewed her later. She said she's not a police officer that will arrest them now. She saw them. How many people have you seen were brought to book as a result of certain corruptions during elections in this country? Have you seen where INEC prosecuted anybody that was involved in election corruption in this country? Even though the commissioners are there, they are witnessing it, nothing happens now. It's an organized corruption circus. It's a contradiction that we are seeing in the country. The more you look, the less you see. We just discussed this now about billions. 5 billion was given to do logo. One of your business said that they can do it in minutes. 5 billion.
He said first of all it was 85 billion. Then
the minister went on, and I quote him. He said indeed that only 3 billion out of the 5 billion budgeted for the project that was released to the aviation ministry for the making of the logo. The former minister said between the years 2016 and 2023, all the monies budgeted for Nigerian Air was about 5 billion, but not all of it was released for the logo. Not all of it. Only 3 billion was released. Call our boys who are doing this design together in Nigeria today. Go to Computer Village and tell them, we want to give you people 3 billion naira. We want all of you gather together and design
and the 5K self go run among.
Are you telling me? If you then presented 3 billion naira to them, you would have made those boys, they will design what the world will shudder at. But guess what? We took 3 billion naira. We wasted it on the design of logo. Guess what? That logo was found to be something that had been designed already. Do you know the kind of contradictions that come out from our government, agencies, ministries, and parastatals in this country? And Nigerians are indeed just lukewarm. You know what the scripture says? The scripture says that you are either cold or you are hot. And every time
I was imagining
Yes.
just last year. I mean,
Yes.
early last years now. Someone imported bad fuel into our country that knocked a lot of engines. I hope your car was not,
you can say that again, my
and
sister.
until now, nobody has taken responsibility.
Nothing has
I mean,
happened.
a particular minister in Zambia just resigned because they saw a video of him, money exchanging cash.
Absolutely.
But we have tons of that kind of situation in our country, and rather they are your guess is as good as mine. And I'm wondering what's the sincerity of purpose of our political elites.
So let me say this,
because if we see the kind of things that we accommodate in our country, and we see, saw Boris Johnson resign because they say, just because of say they talk, say he hosts party during COVID-19, we're not that supposed to sit down for house.
Yes.
Because I don't catch me, he resigned.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
I mean, we saw a Zambian minister that said because there was a video of him, he resigned.
Yes.
So when are we going to have a country where we see one political office holder, not a Kemi Adonsho, by the way,
Yes.
because she was almost cowed into resigning, right?
Yes.
So when are we going to have a political office holder that would have not just the sincerity of purpose, but the integrity to say that, okay, I take responsibility, I did something bad, let me resign? One would have thought that since the entire story about a direct sales, direct purchase thingy with NNPC is still shrouded under secrecy, that Meleke Restano wouldn't have been renewed. But then here we are. We saw that renewed. Till now, we do not know how much a barrel of oil that we produce, how much is eventually sent out to get fuel back, how much the exact amount of fuel we get back, we still don't know. The figures are always, it's neither here nor there. So when do we have a country where somebody will be held responsible?
When Nigerians start speaking up and organizing for the change that is necessary to make Nigeria great again.
And what would that be?
That's when we will start seeing that politicians will be resigning and running away. They will be resigning, mark my word, and running away. Because when they resign, they cannot remain in the country. If they remain in the country, the people will not just stop at that, they will come to them and demand from them the monies that they have stolen from us. The time Nigerians start speaking up and organizing for the change that is necessary to take us to the Uhuru destination, until such a time the country is not going to change. We will keep agonizing as a people unless and until we are ready to organize for the change that we need. See, people say that a tree cannot make a forest, and I say it's a lie. One good productive tree is what is required to make a forest over time. Once you had a good productive tree planted properly, you will find that with time it starts bearing fruits, and the fruits drop to the ground and they are planted, they germinate, they bear more fruits. Over time you are making a forest. But guess what? We do not have yet one good tree. That's why we are unable to make a forest. Nigerians must be willing to speak truth to power, organize for the change that we need, otherwise we'll be spewed out of the mouths of destiny, or amongst the committee of nations that are marching to the Uhuru destination. God, Jesus said to us that you cannot be hot, or you are either hot or cold. You are not permitted to be lukewarm. Nigerians are too lukewarm.
Okay,
we need
have
to
a caller
either be hot or we are cold.
All right. Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Richard from Germany.
Richard, you're welcome. Go ahead very quickly.
Thank you, Precious, and your guest. Good evening once more. One of the callers called and was talking about China and India.
Not being a multilingual country, as it were.
Yeah, they are. But I think where he didn't, maybe see the compositions of the tribes or ethnicity before he called, because China has a lot, few, or not like Nigeria, not many, but they have dozens.
Absolutely.
But in China, the Han ethnicity made up 92% of Chinese people, and their language is Mandarin, and that's what Chinese speak. Then in India, Indo-Aryan made up 72%, and they speak Hindi. And that is why you see the two countries working, developing rapidly, because one ethnicity has, largest majority. So others are just minority groups. Unlike Nigeria, whereby we don't even know how many people Igbos are, how many people Yorubas are, how many people Hausa are, Fulani, Ijaw. Nobody knows. In every country, there are, different languages or tribes, but they make sure that they know exactly which tribe is the largest, which tribe is the smallest. In China, they speak Mandarin and they are Han people. They are 92%. Same in India, 72%. And that's why they pick up a language that is not English or French or something. They pick up their language. That is what is like in Nigeria. Because Nigeria is honestly... Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, honestly, Nigeria is a place whereby everything is, we're confused. Somebody's talking about giving arms to Nigerians. Who are Nigerians? Who are Nigerians?
All right. Thank you. Let me quickly
run to Nobody knows.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I just wanted to make this,
Thank you.
This topic.
Very well noted. Very well noted. Hello. Good evening to you.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you
very much for taking my call.
Thank you. Go ahead, please. Very quickly. What's your name, and where are you calling from? Hello? Unfortunately, I lost you. Let me run through some messages very quickly. This says, Dr. Andy Akpotivi, I want to ask, does immunity cover ex-presidents and governors until we have an incumbent that would have the guts to probe predecessors? We are going nowhere. Unfortunately, most successors are fettered before allowed to take over power, and that is why they can kill and do kill to ensure that they choose their successors. And he says, Precious, and he has spoken brilliantly. I lost respect for PhD holders of late because of their show of zero scruples and principles. But Dr. Andy is clearly different. Unfortunately, he is the wrong country. He's in the wrong country where he went to be, where he won't be allowed to flourish. I speak from personal experience. All right. Okay, moving forward, that's Sam Ken John Orga. Thank you, I appreciate you. Stephen Akimbisola from Ijegu says, VOP is indeed the voice of the people. Since the so-called removal of fuel subsidy, the economy has been going worse minute per minute as hundreds of Nigerians are dying on hunger every day due to inconsistency policy of government. And it seems the government looks the other way. Where is the money saved so far from the subsidy? My take is this. As from Monday, all Nigerians should boycott filling stations, refuse to buy fuel. Make everybody get sense, Abi. Tosin Williams says, good evening, precious. May Almighty God bless your guest exceedingly. He has said it all. Nigeria is indeed a joke. Imagine the endless list of events of corruption and misappropriation of public funds. On the fuel pricing, we all know that the government, and the masses should expect anything through from them. Nigerians have made their choice, so they should face the music and stand up and demand for their right until we challenge the wicked. You said a lot. I appreciate you. And then he says China doesn't speak one language, and China has more than 1 million languages, but they have an official language which is called Pichuhua. That's what you said. Leo from Lagos. That's what you said. And Ihai Obata. Thank you. Said, please tell the man calling in now that if our diversity and population is the problem, what of India? Why are they advanced and tech-wise more than us? That's the question that you asked. Okay, so perhaps I run to YouTube now, where I have tons of messages. Goodness me. Where do I start from? Okay, Prince George, I see your message. Thank you so much. Madi, peace. I see all of your messages. Kenneth also says, precious to your guests. The Nigeria Air Project was the greatest haste by the government in Nigeria. Chuka Ekwe says, good evening, beautiful precious. They say Nigeria does not have money, but year in, year out, the government keeps spending them. God help us. Surplus Link says, another Mr. Darlington goodness is your portion. God bless you, brother. Okay, says, there was a country. Okay. All right. Amadi P says the sons and daughters of the soil suffer and suffer no shore. Okay. And then Brown John says the truth must be told. Nigerian government. Okay. I see you there. Churchy Hill says let's come out for this guy. They all okay. All right. Okay. I see you. They say corruption under Buhari is highest ever in the history of Nigeria. Okay. I see that. Precious. make sure you invite this man again. Please, you should tell him that you should make sure he comes again. Kenneth Osapito says, thank you, Dr. Andy. Your analysis is profound and very critical. Mario Agun Kemakolan says, pretty precious. Happy New Year. The country is in a total... we just they play. Stanley says, okay, I see you, thank you. And Emeka says, okay, all right, Dr. Andy, brother, your country is laughable. Your country is not too. Good morning, my sister precious. And Godwin Waizama says, okay, I see you, thank you. Nkemakolam says, it's really disheartening that the country so blessed and endowed with so much human material resources is laughing stock amongst Committee of Nations. Kenezike says, your guest has said it all. God bless all in this country. Okay. And Fado Saka says, the 2023 presidential election brought out the envy and hatred of Ndigbo by FFK, and words matter. Wisdom Ndidi says, a country where a dead man ruled for over 6 years and no one is asking. I don't understand. Which dead man? Okay. All right. Okay. White Lion says, the price of freedom is tears and blood. Oh, whoa. Father Saka says, what? Well, that's why okay. All right. Too many messages here. They said this person knows his onion very well. Dada Adebayo says, evening precious. There is a saying, when a purpose of a thing is not known, abuse and misuse is inevitable. When your president, okay. Carlo David says, my brother, population is also big problem. Let's be realistic. And then there's someone somewhere who did say that the North has the highest population, whether people like it or not. And God will bless the North for having it. That's Mohammed Ahmed Gashinge. He says North is blessed with massive population, whether you like it or not. That the speaker was saying is that North is allocated population to desert is a pure lie, and that's not true at all. But let me go back to the cause. Dr. Andy, why you stepped out briefly, there was a question about if successive administrations can be probed, if there's immunity for past governors and presidents. But let's take this call first. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, this is Jonathan. I'm calling back, please.
Jonathan, welcome. Very quickly, please.
So I just want to make the comment about the 2006 census.
Okay.
So the census was rigged. So just like there's no winner. So that's what I want to say.
All right, thank you.
And regarding the Buhari government corruption, it's just like a hyena crushing the bone. So thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So CY here said that he agrees with you 100%, and that the army has ruled, the army military rule has numbed Nigerians and disabled the people from tribalism and weaponized with poverty. That we practice democracy, not democracy, but feardom and feardomcracy. Okay. Oh goodness, my people will not kill me. And he said, the moment we relinquish our power to make things for us to God, we begin to die. Nigerians need to embrace death to make our lives matter. Oh wow. All right. This says, the problem of Nigeria is fear. I don't want to die, according to Fela Nicola Kokuti. But last, all of us did it. Aisha Bilado from Idemo sent in that message. And Mr. Ola from Chicago says, 3 bosa to your guest. Precious, I don't know how you can sleep at night with what
to see the truth. Nigerians, I hope I will see the truth. Nigerians, I hope, I believe once we are done reading the book, we now start organizing appropriately. Buhari must never happen to Nigeria again. The new government is just taking the lead from what Buhari has done. And trust me, nothing new would come out of it. Nothing new. Once upon a time, God understood that the people who had left Egypt, if he took them exactly to the promised land like that, they were going to corrupt the promised land. You know what he said? He said, with this mindset, with this Egypt mindset, with this evil mindset, I would ensure that none of you would be able to get to the promised land except the ones who did not come from Egypt. I speak to you currently that the politicians that we know today, that we have today, that are leading and sending monies into people's bank accounts, like the Senate president said, the politicians that we have in all of the states, if we want Nigeria to become Uhuru destination again, we must ensure that these ones do not get to the promised land with us. We must ensure that these ones are not returned. We must ensure that these ones are not voted. Nigerians, how do you sleep? Go and Google how much was used to buy vehicle SUVs for your 109 senators and over 360 House of Representative members. If you merely brought those monies together, and you channeled that money at fixing one sector in the healthcare industry, or you channeled that money at fixing education, you channeled that money at fixing a very important project, Nigeria would have become a great country, or would be on the pathway to becoming great. But guess what? They bought the cars in any ways. They took our monies. They took it abroad. They went to pay the laborers abroad. They went to make the economies of other countries greater. Brought the cars here. They will drive these cars on our roads. You who use your hard-earned money to buy a Peugeot, you use your hard-earned money to buy a Corolla, they will whoop you on the road when they are driving this their high-end car. They will whoop you, they will flog you, they will harass you, and you will go home and you will be clapping for them.
So, Dr. Andy, there is a message here that says, this is coming from Ned from Dallas. It says, not much to be said over here, but he said I should quote him that Nigeria has the biggest assemblies of cowards, in his words. He says, every single one of us. What happens in Nigeria cannot be tolerated in any part of the country.
Absolutely.
But then there's something else somebody here said. He did ask a question. He said that he agrees with you 101%, but his question is, who leads the way? When Occupy Ojota happened, people led the way. When NSAS happened, people led the way. To take back Nigeria for people who will lead the way.
Momentum.
Casey is asking this question from heaven.
Momentum builds over time. I always say, everything remains at a state of inertia unless and until external pressure is applied on it continuously.
Is that Milton's laws? So,
yes.
Okay.
Nigeria would remain like this. The pressure should not just come once. We must continue to be consistent with this pressure. You don't come once and hit it. A woman travails to bring forth a child. A woman does not go there. They say Hebrew women, they just go there and they will just push on.
But that is the baby steps the president is telling us now. He's saying that the situation we're going through now is like that of a woman who is under labor. That you go through labor, the pain of labor before you birth your child, and then when you see your child, you get to forget the pain of labor. That's why we'll forget this pain very soon, because it's just like the pain of labor that we're going through. That's what the president said.
So the difference between that and what I'm talking about is that before the woman is taken to the labor room, you were sure that the woman has got a child in her. They would have done scan and confirmed that there's a child.
So there's no baby in this stomach.
As I speak to you, we are enduring labor pains without any baby.
Actual fetus.
We are enjoying. They want us to endure labor pains, but there is no sign. No sign. The scan that was done did not show that there was anything in the woman. Absolutely nothing is there. So what can you see? Where is the hope? Where is the hope today when everything is going up and the government keeps saying that they are giving monies to people? Who are the people that are giving the monies
reacting to your Nigerian some people say they don't even need money, even 5K set to do the logo, that they don't even need 5K. That what they need is just data.
It's just
that
data.
They will do it free of charge.
Give them data, they will sleep over it.
They will be glad to do that for their country.
They will design. The funniest thing is that go research that thing. Nigeria should not have slept. That logo was a copy and paste. That thing we even spent 3 billion on was a copy and paste, because the real people who designed it came out to say that this is our work. This work you are claiming is yours is our work, and we spent 3 billion for it. We spent 3 billion on it. The Nigerians that saw that, including journalists, Precious, your constituency, we all went to sleep. Let me tell you,
but it is not my constituency project now. I did not take allocation for the project. Sorry.
Another one that annoyed me.
Okay.
We were told that they spent money to go and buy vehicles for people in Niger. They bought certain number of vehicles for Nigerians under the President Muhammadu Buhari.
Because the administration told us that it's our responsibility to play big brother.
Absolutely. The Nigerians came and said it's a lie. But we had raw evidence that showed that they did procurement of those vehicles. Nigerians said that it's a lie. Nigerians spent the money. Who took the money? Who bought the vehicles? For who did they buy those vehicles? In any case, if we wanted to do Big Brother, why didn't we go to Innocent to go and invest that money that we used to buy Toyota? Why didn't we buy it from Innocent and give the vehicles to them so that we know that we are empowering Innocent? Why didn't we go to Kaduna to go and buy the vehicles from them and give to the people in Niger? But guess what? I'm not even talking about that one now. I'm talking about Nigerians saying that we did not receive any vehicles from you Nigerian government. Nigerian government did procurement. Journalists went quiet about it. Nigerians are quiet about it. How else do you describe what we have in this country? A big contradiction that the people are even accomplices to. They are a part of this contradiction. Otherwise, we ought to be calling our people out one after the other. We must name them, we must shame them. As many people as they want to arrest and lock up. Imagine them arresting and locking up 20 million people. 20 million people scattered across the length and breadth of Nigeria, from Kano to Kaduna to Delta in Warri to Ugeli in Warri to Bayelsa to everywhere. 20 million people speaking about just one item. Let me tell you, the only opposition we have in Nigeria today, I stand to be corrected. The only oppositions we have is just Serap and Showore, Sarah reporters. That's the only opposition we have in this country. Serap, we query, we question everything. They will go to court with their own money. Why do you think that they are doing that? We have others, Nigerians, who think that they couldn't care less. I was speaking to a few friends. They say, "What is my own? Let me just wake up now and get money to feed myself." And
you mentioned this thing yesterday, and
yes.
I did tell you that someone like Peter Obi has also said he will be playing major opposition now, and indeed he's been asking questions. The few policies that this present administration has made recently, he has questioned it. He proffered solutions too. He proffered solutions too, because he did say that he would have been done the other way instead of this way.
I am saying,
and those are questions. So he would have taken actions.
We have to organize to take actions. I'm saying to you that in this studio, for instance, there is light here because you took action to turn on the switch.
Oh wow.
That's why there is light. Trust me, if you did not turn on the switch, even though light exists still in the conduits, light exists, you will find that there is darkness inside the studio. But because someone stood, walked in the direction of the switch and turned on the switch, until that was done, we did not experience light. Until that was done, we didn't experience it. If you want to turn on this light, you have to leave there again, walk in the direction of the switch and turn it off. I'm saying that
so even though
Nigeria is potentially great, even though Nigeria has all of the resources, the contradictions that we are seeing in this country will continue unabated until the people are willing to walk in the direction of the switch and turn off the switch. Precious, are you not thoroughly embarrassed that you were taught in elementary economics that there are 4 factors of production: land, capital, entrepreneur, and labor? 4 factors of production. Today, that if any institute, if any quantity are present in it, these 4 factors of production, it will be able to produce. Nigeria has got land. Our space, land space, is so monumental and fertile. Across the length and the breadth of this country, we have got everything that speaks to our ability to be productive. We have got labor. 200 and so million people and still counting. And guess what? The part of this 200 million population that is dominant is the active part, youth. The youth are more among these 200 million people. We have got a vibrant youth that are entrepreneurial in nature. We have got everything that speaks to the factors of production. But guess what? We are not a productive nation.
Right, so
even everything that is contained in this your studio today, here as we are speaking, including the phone, including the cloth you are wearing, including the earphone that we are using, everything in this studio we imported.
No,
is this not an embarrassment?
This is Nigerian leather. So Angie, please. So somebody here dropped a message. He said he's from Norway. He said here in Norway, our politicians buy their own cars with their own money.
Absolutely.
And not taxpayers' money.
Absolutely.
And they said during winter they ride their bicycle to work. But sorry, during summer they ride their bicycles to work. And at winter they drive with their Toyota Camry to work. and they don't have to use their vehicles don't have to be bought with it wouldn't have to be bought with taxpayers' money. He said that. So I'd like to get your final thought on all of this conversation.
So
let's know the way forward.
I thought we as a people.
So somebody did ask the way forward.
Yes.
He didn't really
Yes.
You technically, is it systematically?
Yes.
Not technically.
In
Nigeria, we do technical or systematically.
We use such very highfalutin words.
Right.
For instance, recently they told us that they have mechanically completed the Port Harcourt refinery.
How far? Fear don't they come out inside for that side?
You should.
I've been at diesel.
You should go and you should.
Now your area and I you should go. But you're coming from Port Harcourt, so you can tell me. So you have made me now not to visit the Port Harcourt politics. When are you coming back again, Dr. Andy? Dr. Andy, when are you coming back again?
Definitely when I'm back. I will want to speak.
Not when you're back. Between now and Friday. Will you come on Friday?
No, if you pay my flight, I will come.
Dr. Andy, please promise me you come back on Friday. Let's talk Port Harcourt politics. Andy, promise me you come back on Friday. Let's talk River State politics.
Yes, most definitely.
Friday evening. We should be here. So will you do me in the morning and do me in the evening?
Why not?
You should do me. So will you do us at VOP TV in the morning?
Why not?
And then do us in the evening at VOP Radio. Now this is a national promise you're making. You better not be a politician in this. So people, Dr. Andy will be joining us at VOP TV in the morning on Friday, and then in the evening he'll be here with us. On Friday we'll start at 6:30 p.m. So we'll have enough time, extra 30 minutes to dissect, and then we'll dive into what people are doing to my brother Fubara in River State. And what I don't
like that you're saying you dive into me. Please don't dive into me.
I didn't say dive into you. Dr. Andy, we're live for radio. Yeah, doctor. I cannot dive into when you have needle and syringes all over you like this. No. I might be pricked. So for those joining us, thank you so much, Dr. Andy. So I did ask a question very, very quickly. Who leads the way, and how do we get a headway to this?
It takes just one man. It takes just one man actually to start a revolution. It took just Moses to bring the people out of Egypt. It took just John the Baptist to start the revolution. It is taking just Paul Kagame to change everything that is happening in Rwanda. It took just Lin Kuan Yew to change everything that happened in Singapore. It's just going to take one right man who is able to stand and say that for this purpose I was born. For this purpose, this is the vision that God has cast in my heart or in my mind. It takes just one man, and we all can be that one man. I'm saying that the day when we all become that one man, Nigeria starts changing. How do you become that one man? Whatever it is that you are doing, you must continue to advocate for good for Nigeria. Our mission should be about changing the Nigeria that we are seeing to the Nigeria that we want to see. One person, one conversation at a time. So
for those who are just joining us, this show comes your way every evening, Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. basically. That's what it is. But Friday will be starting at 6:30 p.m. just to give you the drills right on the show. And Dr. Andy has promised he's joining me on Friday 6:30 p.m. Mr. Darlington will be here tomorrow 6:30 p.m. You do know that we have a television station now, right? So for those of you on YouTube, or you're going to type VOP TV, you see all the work that they're doing there on our television station. And the good thing is Dr. Andy will be with us on Friday on VOP TV in our breakfast show at VOP TV in the morning, and then we'll return here on the show Evening Rush on the radio right here at VOP Radio 90.3 in the evening. Andy Akwative, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much.
I had to be deliberate saying that. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes. So your book, how do we access it, by the way?
Unveiled, How to Run a Profitable Hospital Business in Nigeria. You can find on Amazon. The next is Becoming Me, a journey of depth, a journey of destiny, a journey of empathy, passion, tolerance, and hatred. You need to catch or get a copy of those two books. You can get it on Amazon, or you can call even this radio station. And
you can call. Okay, am I a marketer? You've not given me copies to sell. So you've not given me copies to sell.
You intend to do so. You can just check me out on Facebook, Andy Akwative, so we can extend the conversation. Andy Akwative on Facebook, Andy_Akwative on Instagram, Andy Akwative on LinkedIn,
Precious Inyi. And hey, YouTube is at Precious Inyi TV. When you come on Friday, we'll do something on Precious Inyi TV. You promise, right?
Why not?
Promise.
Why not?
All right. Thank you so much, Lagos. Do have an amazing evening. Whatever you do, Lagos, protect your mental health. I love you. Good night.